Fairydust crafters, welcome to episode 9 of the Fairydust Crafts podcast. It's good to see you guys here. Welcome back to all of my regular viewers, and welcome to anybody who's new here. This is my space right here in my craft room. I'm coming to you from my craft room here in British Columbia. This is a space where I talk mostly knitting, but every once in a while I will talk other kinds of crafts. I am mostly a knitter. Any kind of questions you have, just pop them in the comments. And I'm trying to be really good at putting all the information, anything that I talk about, in the show notes down here. So if you want to know what kind of materials I use or what kind of pattern I'm talking about, you can find all of that just down below here in the show notes. If you click on the 3 little dots where it says more, you'll get all the information there. And I'm also trying to be good at adding any information that there is for any project that I'm working on into my Ravelry Project pages. So sometimes I'm a little slow with taking pictures because that's like one thing that I always procrastinate. And I am the queen of the land of procrastination. But I'm trying to be good at least getting all my notes on there. I like to take notes in a notebook, and I think I'm gonna do a little bonus episode on like what kind of notes I take when I knit. So like, what do I write down? How do I do it? What kind of media do I use? Because I do still like using a notebook, but then Ravelry is also very handy, and there's like a vast amount of other like apps and websites that you can use. Anyways, I'm getting carried away. So this week's been a little less busy, but I still feel like I've only gotten so much done. However, I have a finished project for you, and then I've been working on like mainly just 2 projects, so I'll show you those. And it is October 5th today, and if you guys are active in any form in the knitting world, you know that today Stephen West's mystery knit along started, and clue 1 came out this morning. I got a little text first thing a little email first thing this morning when I got up, and I had a look at the pattern because I did sign up for it. I have mentioned this previously here and in my Instagram, that I have purchased the mystery knit along, but I'm not quite sure how I want to approach it yet because I have a lot to do. Part of it is my own knit along. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the MKAL section, where I talk about both my own knit along, and then I'm just gonna blend Stephen West's MKAL right into that. So let's get started with all of my projects that I'm working on right now, or have worked on last week. So I have finished a toque, and this pattern actually came out today. And look at this crown. I haven't actually washed and blocked it yet, so it's a little bit of a funny shape. It's the little puckery, but I did test knit this hat. It is the Tinker Doodle hat by Simply Good Knitting, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got like a double brim, which I really like because it keeps your ears actually warm. And as I just said, like, the crown is so beautiful, and it's got the same patterning as the Tinkerdoodle cowl. So there's a matching cowl to go with this, and a little birdie told me, and it's not really secret because it's already been on her Instagram account, but there will be a shawl coming out in, I believe, a month or so. That's kind of like a very similar pattern. It's a little different though, but it's similar. So this, if you want to have a closer look at it, these are all cables. So literally every single one of these is all cables, and they are a 1x1 cable, and all of the knit stitches are knit through the back loop, so they're all twisted stitches. It's absolutely gorgeous. This was so much fun to knit because you get into a rhythm with the cable needle, and like the way you hold your work and you move your cable needle around, you get into this really, really relaxing rhythm. At first I was like, oh man, this chart is like out there. It's definitely, it's not a beginner pattern, I must say. And I think Kirsten already said that in one of her Instagram posts. Kirsten is the designer behind Simply Good Knitting. She already said that it's definitely not a beginner pattern. You need to know how to do cables, and just go slow. I want to say like even a very advanced beginner could do this. Like definitely don't pick this as your first ever project or your first hat. You definitely want a little bit of mileage on your knitting adventure, but it's so gorgeous to knit. This is definitely not the last Tinkerdoodle hat that I have made. I knit this using All Points North yarns in Divine Decay, and the color is Olive You, and it's probably my favorite, like one of my all-time favorite colors of hers. It is just, oh, it's so gorgeous. I started knitting the cowl. I showed you that in a previous episode. I started knitting the cowl, but I didn't get very far in terms of doing the test knit. I definitely knew I wanted to test knit, and I had time to test knit the hat, maybe the cowl, but the cowl came out first, and then there's just not enough time for me. The cowl is like obviously way more stitches. It's like twice as many stitches as this, so it's a little slower going, but I have a matching cowl. I use the exact same yarn, and I am excited to just kind of like work on it this winter, and just pick it up whenever I need something that's engaging. It's I said, I think I said it in my last, or in my Instagram post yesterday, that it is both relaxing and also engaging to your brain. Like it's one of those kind of knits. You have to pay attention, but then you do come to every other row is, so every other row is the cable pattern, and then the next row would be just like knit purl, or like knit through the back loop and purl. So you get into this rhythm, and you get a break from doing cables by just having that one round where you don't do cables, which is what most cable patterns work like that. Most, not all of them. But yeah, I highly recommend this pattern. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it is on Simply Good Knitting's Ravelry page now, out for purchase. I need to definitely block it though, so they shine a little more. I feel like they almost kind of like 3D into the hat, but it's so cool. So this was my finished object for this week. I haven't finished anything else. I have been knitting on, and I've got my little bag sitting right here. I've been knitting on my pair of socks, my August socks. I'm still working on them. Oops, there's like a pair of needles, random needles in here. There should not be in here. But yeah, I've been just working on like literally just like chopping away at it, one round at a time, which is fine. It's just a vanilla sock. I have my first one is all done, and this is my second sock. So this is August's Yarnable subscription, and it's just a vanilla sock. It's kind of like my own pattern. So all of the information on like how many stitches I cast on for my size, this is like a ladies medium, and like how many rounds I do for like cuff and foot, and cuff, leg, and foot. All of the details are in my Ravelry project page. So if you're like the same shoe size that I am, somewhere between like 7.5 and 8.5, you can literally just go in there and get your free pattern from me from my project page. So I pick this pair of socks up like whenever I just have like a spare minute and I just need, you know, like 15 minutes to myself. I think what I'm actually gonna do is, because I do really want to finish these, so I'm not like super behind with my Yarnable subscription box, or my Yarnable subscription box socks. That's a mouthful. I think I'm gonna do my daily 30 minutes of knitting with just these socks, and I know they're just gonna be done in like no time that way. My next project, let me just reach down here awkwardly. The next project I'll show you that I'm actually working on and that I'm really focusing on right now is my November for November knit along, and we're just gonna slide right into the next chapter, which is knit alongs. So my November for November knit along is still happening. I neglected this project a little bit, and I apologize to anybody who's following along with the knit along who hasn't heard anything about the knit along in so long, because I've been so busy. I'm tired, and I think you can tell. And I think like the weather doing its own fall thing, and it's been a little rainy in the last few days, kind of like did not help with that. Anyway, so I have been working on this week. This has been kind of like, except for the hat that needed to be done, this has been kind of like my focus, and will be for the next however long until I'm done. So this is the November jacket by Petite Knit, and I have, since you last saw this, and just ignore all of my markers here, I'll have to remove those eventually. I have, since you last saw this, split, or not split, I guess, combined my 3 pieces. So I now have one front, and then I combined the fronts to the back and to the other front. And I did, at first I was like looking at it and I'm like, this seems really short. If I'm looking at like the shoulders, like it just seemed oddly short if I looked at it. And then last night, after I've like combined them, and I have like maybe 10 rounds knit here, or 10 rows rather, knit, and I was like, I need to try this on before I get like super far down, and then I'm like, oh, this doesn't fit. So I tried it on and it fits perfectly, and it is brioche. So once I wash this, it's gonna grow even more, so it will be oversized on me, because when I picked my size, I was a little worried that it would be too small for the fact that it is supposed to be an oversized cardigan. So I think I actually did choose the right size, and it's coming along real nicely. I just love this. Like, it is so gorgeous. It is so squishy and soft, and I think if I just focus on this, and now that like all the craziness and everything with Knit City and whatnot is over, I can actually sit down and take a day off, take a Sunday off, just for myself. And I think if I can just sit down, focus on this, work on it, I'm sure I'll be done this in no time. Now, it will still need sleeves, and I know that sleeves always take me a little longer. Sleeves don't look like there's much to them, but it's and for some weird reason, every time I do a sleeve, I'm so surprised how long it took me. Should not be surprised anymore at this point, but it definitely always takes me a little longer than expected. And because it is an oversized sleeve, like, look at these armholes, like they're pretty big. So there's going to be a lot of stitches on here, and I do want like the nice long sleeves, so it's like cozy to wear. I'm getting super excited about this, and I am hoping that I can finish this in the next 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully. The knit along is still going until November 5th, so we have 1 full month from now. And then that will be it, and then this has to be done, and I can't wait to see everybody else's cardigans. If you are confident that you can knit a cardigan in a month, so what is it? Is it like 4 weeks, 5 weeks? You can still join in. You don't have to you don't have to finish it. Obviously it would be nice, and if you do finish, you'll be your name will be entered to the prize draw. So that would be awesome to just like win a little something something. My prize is getting really, really awesome, and I still need to get that last little thing ready so I can show you guys what it is. But the big reveal will come, and one of you lucky guys is gonna win it. And not only that, but they're gonna have a beautiful jacket to wear. So I'm excited about this. Now, as I just said earlier in the introduction, Stephen West has started his shawl MKAL, his mystery knit along, and it is called a Geo Gradient. And I've been like humming and hawing about it. So I do want to do it because I'm very intrigued. I was very intrigued just by the description. Like, it is a gradient and it is going to be somehow geometric. So both of those, I'm like, cool, I like that. And it's a shawl. I like shawls, even just to like curl up on the couch with. So when the pattern came out, I was like, or like you could like buy the pattern, buy the mystery knit along, and then that's basically it. You'll have the pattern. You don't have to knit along in real time. So the way he does it is, it always happens in October, and he reveals a new clue every week. So every Thursday in October, we're gonna get a clue for the mystery knit along, and we'll basically, everybody knits that one clue during that week. I saw previous knit alongs where like there's quite a bit of homework, so I'm not going to be surprised at all if this year is going to be the same. So there will be a little bit of homework, quite a bit to do. So I was like, well, let's just start. I only just yesterday bought my yarn, and let me show you. So I just only like literally just before I started filming this, I put my little project back together. This is you've seen me use the big one. This is the medium size Outlander tartan project bag by Ginger Snap Fibers, and it has like, or not Ginger Snap, what am I saying, by Ginger Snap. I'm very tired, and you can already see one coming out, but it has like these metal opening closing, so it actually stays open, and it's pretty big. So I thought this would be perfect for my shawl, because I will not be traveling with this. It's just going to be staying at home on my shelf. So yesterday I bought my yarn for this shawl, and it's supposed to be a gradient, so you have a very dark color and a very light color, and then two colors in between that are, one of them is closer to the dark, one of them is closer to the light, but they're still like, all four differ. And we will be starting with color A, which is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the color A is the lightest. So I chose all Points North Yarn Co. as my yarn, and like they're all the same, All Points North yarn. There are two different bases. There is Sweet Sock and Posh Sock, but they're both 85% superfine, superwash merino, and 15% nylon. Posh Sock is just a little bit softer and a little fluffier than Sweet Sock, but they're basically the same. So same yarn basically, for the most part. So I chose 4 of her yarns, and my lightest one, so color A, will be Marshmallow, and color B will be Chai Latte, and color C will be Copper, and last but not least, D is Bittersweet. So let me see if I can do this so I don't drop all of them. So this is my gradient, basically. And I'm actually really excited. So I chose these colors because A, I love neutrals, anything neutral, and B, I want to be able to wear this shawl with my November cardigan. And the November cardigan you just saw is kind of like a Douglas, the color is called Douglas fir, so it's like a fir green. And so I kind of like wanted to match those so I can wear them together. If that will ever happen, who knows? But I looked at the pattern this morning and I thought, looks very interesting. I'm just gonna cast on, and I will do that probably tonight. I'm in no hurry at all. I'm not gonna pressure myself into like finishing this, but I thought maybe if I just worked on it every day for, even if it's just 10 minutes, or maybe I'll make the shawl my daily 30 minutes of knitting. And then I'll just knit along at my own pace. I'm not going to stress myself out about, oh no, I need to finish clue 1 on Wednesday night before clue 2 hits on Thursday morning. I don't want to do that. I don't want to stress myself out about it. It's also Socktober, and if you follow me on Instagram, I posted all of my socks, like I literally pulled out all of my socks that I have just sitting around. So all of my sock whips. And during October, I would like to work on those and just kind of like get them done. So I have empty project bags, and just so they're like done and in my sock drawer so I can wear them. But that's kind of like my plan, my very vague plan with Stephen West's Knit Along Shawl MKAL. I'll just see what happens. I am not very good at following like deadlines and all that kind of stuff. Like I need tiny little deadlines, and I find with something like this, it's almost a little too big for me. So I don't want to overwhelm myself, and I'm just gonna, if it takes me 3 months to finish this, 4 months, half a year, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think it's just gonna be something that I want to knit along at my own pace. But I have different priorities, so I'm not going to make it my priority. I know some of you guys are out there who are making the MKAL their October priority every year, and like hats off to anybody who is able to finish all of their whips before today and started this like fresh and early today, and like you guys are rock. And like for so many, Stephen West's MKAL is like their project for October, and that's it. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. And maybe one day, maybe next year or 4 years from now, I'll be able to do that too. Who knows? I have so many whips, and but I have like this urge to cast on new things. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's what I'm working on right now. It's only right now at this point, my focus is 3 projects, and I think that's the way to go, right? I hope so. I mean, like, I have not been very lucky with having a multitude of different projects going, so my focus on just like the one project plus a sock, I think is a good way to go. And I'm at that point right now, and for the rest of the year I definitely do not want to add on like anything else, like nothing with deadlines or anything crazy. So that's what I'm working on right now. Let's see what else is happening in the life of Fairydust. So life things have definitely slowed down a little bit. I took last weekend off, and I had a little bit of a migraine on Monday, so I took literally a full weekend off. I had Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. We had company on Sunday, so I spent like Saturday, Sunday cleaning the house, and now I have like a clean house. And I just wanna like sit and hibernate and knit. So on, what was it? Monday afternoon, I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie, and I do not care about anything else. I watched Hocus Pocus because it is Spooktober, and it is the spooky season. It feels spooky outside too, with like the leaves are definitely dropping now. I think by next week we probably won't have any yellow leaves and red leaves anymore. It's definitely looking a lot like fall, early winter. And all I did was work on my hat, and I had a hot drink, and I just enjoyed myself. So in the past few years, I've always been like, I've never really given myself weekends per se. So this is another thing I'm kind of like experimenting with. I just take a day off and I take it for myself, and I've been really enjoying it. So I would like to watch a few more like scary movies. I don't like the super scary paranormal kind of stuff. But I do like a scary movie, and I mean, like, I watch them in the afternoon. I'm okay with that. But if you guys have any kind of input, any suggestions on what I should watch, I think today I'm going to watch Beetlejuice, because it's just like I'm totally into all the classics right now. But if you guys have any suggestions on what I should be watching, feel free to pop that in the comments. I love watching shows. Shows are like definitely a big thing. Currently I'm still kind of like chipping away at Sopranos, and I've started rewatching Big Bang Theory just as kind of like a, you know, something to have on. And definitely want to watch a bunch of movies in the next little bit. So if you have any suggestions at all, same with audiobooks. If you have any good audiobooks, I love me a mystery. So a thriller, or like, even if it's like a cozy murder mystery, love that kind of stuff. So if you got any suggestions at all, please let me know. Also, let me know if you're knitting along with Stephen West, and no spoilers here. I will definitely not post any spoilers up until like, what shall we say, like a week after the knit along was revealed, something like that, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So I'm trying not to, and I will definitely, if I do put anything on Instagram or even here in like the shorts, I will put a little disclaimer on there, and I'll use Stephen's tile that he usually has, so you guys know that the next picture will be a spoiler. But I think what I'll do is, I don't know, I'll just see how it goes. I'll see if I'm even gonna get to clue 2, who knows. But I'm very, very much into sitting and knitting right now, and just enjoying myself and like enjoying a little bit of downtime. So if you're knitting along, let me know if you do, and tell me what you're watching or listening to while you do so. In the meantime, this is it for this week's podcast. I hope to see you guys again soon, next week for sure. And happy crafting, you guys. See you soon. Bye.